Hello. Right. Okay. You right, love?
Hi.
Hello. Right. Okay. Let me put this onto. Here we go. Let me. Oh, it's recording. Look, it's doing my job. Sorry, I was literally on another Zoom and I was like, I've got to go. I was like, I'm interviewing Sarah. The link's in the All Consultant group. Right. Okay. So let me spotlight and I'll spotlight you as well. And then we should be in the middle. There we go. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Right, guys, I will just give it a little second. Why is everybody else going? That's it. I'll just give it a little second. Obviously we are recording this, so I will share the link tomorrow. That's not a problem. Sorry, sure. Honestly, if I can run a sense business, anyone can run a sense business. I'm the biggest ever. Right, okay, we'll leave that down there. Right, okay, so welcome to Diary of a Scentsy Consultant. I am like super excited to be doing these again. It was something that I started in like 2023 and back end of last year, I had loads of stuff going on, moved again, and I was like, right, I need to kick these off again. And it was actually Ashley Johnson that said, you need to talk to Sarah. She's brilliant. So other than watching Sarah's training in the Imagine Refocus, whatever that group's called now, we don't know each other that well, do we? So, and other than a few like voice messages back and forth, we have on purpose, I haven't asked too many questions because I wanted this to be so organic and authentic. Oh, why is that gone really dark? There we go. And then, oh, you're muted, my love. I don't know if I can unmute you.
There we go. Is that better?
So yeah, I wanted this to be, I need to put that down there. I wanted this to be organic and authentic so I can get to know you as well. So I know your name is Sarah Jane Sweeney. But before as I said, I've sent you the questions and we'll just let it flow. But if it goes off on a tangent at all, like don't worry.
Okay.
Just absolutely how I want it to be. Just let it flow naturally. So before we go any further, just tell us a little bit about yourself, about your family, like children, etc., etc.
Okay, so I'm Sarah, obviously, and I am married to Michael, and we've been together for 19 years this year. Like, I know I don't look old enough to her at all, but 19 years. We've got a little boy, Oliver, who's 7 in July, and he is literally our life and everything. He's just honestly got the best social life. I was saying this to you when on a voice
Yeah,
note, wasn't I, Laura? Like,
yeah.
if he's not playing football, he's doing karate. If it's not karate, it's some other kind of sport. We live in Hartlepool. Born and bred in the northeast, as you can probably tell by the accent. I hate listening back to my accent.
Oh no,
I
I love
listen,
it.
see, I listen to others, and I'm like, why can't I just sound like that? But yeah, we've got what we've got. And yeah, there's just the three of us. We're yeah, three musketeers. That's
Three
what we always
Musketeers.
call
I love that
ourselves.
though. Oh, I love that. Dan and I have actually been together 19 years this year as well. How funny.
Have you
I
really?
know,
Oh
and I
my
know
God.
clearly we don't look old enough either, so maybe we
Nah,
must talk tonight.
not at all. Not at all.
There's a lot of hair dye on here on my roots. Um,
The light is on a dim, I'll tell you,
and
so no one can see my sparkly hair.
oh, I love it though. Okay, so obviously that's a little bit about yourself. So when did you join Scentsy?
So I joined Scentsy on the 6th of November in 2020. So I've been a consultant for, what is it, coming up 3.5 years now.
Okay,
Doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's just flew over.
it's just gone.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
And what title are you?
I'm director, but I love playing the hokey cokey. I'm literally in and out. And do you know what? I'm absolutely fine with that. I
Oh,
really am.
do
But
you know
while
what?
I've got it, I'll cling on to it.
Absolutely. And do you know what? I think, and I mean this genuinely, like a title is just that. Like,
Yeah,
there's people that are in part of our group as well, and they've been director and then they've gone on to superstar consultant, but you know, you still keep working your business exactly as you did. You lead your team. A title is just a title, you know. It doesn't.
Definitely.
So, but I've never heard it called that. Like doing the hokey cokey though. I love that.
In out, shake it all about.
In out, shake it all about. But you know what? I'm sure to your team, you are their director, and you will always, you know, you will always remain that way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so take us back a little bit. I know I've jumped into when did you join Scentsy, but take us back to like, I don't know, like school, college, and then like what other jobs? And I asked the question just to kind of give a little bit of context as to, you know, people's backgrounds, because I do believe that you know, there's not one type of person that is a Scentsy consultant. And I honestly believe whatever you've done in the past, there's some transferable skills over to Scentsy, you know, there's something that you can. So take us through your kind of like career path from like leaving school, college, like what you've done to where you are today.
Yeah. So going back many, many years now, when I left school, I went to college and I did hospitality and catering. And I was on a course, literally, I think there was about 3 girls who were on the course. There were guys there who were wanting to be chefs, and I did it. I really enjoyed it. Then when I left, while I was still at college, my mum, God love her, she worked in Asda. She's worked in Asda for, I think, coming up 25 years now. So there was a job going in the cafe. So my mum was like, apply for it. You do know, it's a bit of extra pocket money. So I applied, and I remember going along to the job interview when it was something like, I mean, I'd had like Saturday jobs and things like that in like the local news agents. So I started working in the Asda coffee shop, and I was there probably, well, I was 18. And then when I was 19 or 20, they have within the retail, I don't know if they still do this now, so it's been many moons since I left, but they have their own sort of internal management training course type of thing. So they literally get you from a shop floor colleague, put you through all the training, all the guidance, all the learning, and you end up being a manager. So when I was 20, I was honestly, it was like I was fed to the wolves. I became the manager of the coffee shop where I was that 18-year-old girl who walked in.
Wow.
And it was one of the most challenging things of, I'd walked in on Sunday mornings with hangovers, and then all of a sudden I'm now the manager I'm catering manager in Asda Hartlepool. And honestly, like getting the trust and being able to work alongside these women who probably thought I was just there having a laugh, to be honest, was sort of challenging.
At 20?
At 20, I became a manager at 20 years old, So then I moved around a lot of Asda stores. They tend to do that with the managers, or they did. So you have 1 or 2 years in a row, then they'll swap your stores. So I went from Hartlepool, Stockton, Middlesbrough. I did a stint in Leeds in Asda House. I was there for 3 months on a secondment type of role, helping build new menus and things. And then I got made redundant, which was really scary. Me and Michael had our own home. I mean, I was with Asda 8 years. So I was still only, 24, 25, and going through the thought of redundancy was so scary. And I remember when they did it, I was in Middlesbrough store and I was a counters manager, the pizzas, the chickens, the fish, all of that shebang. And I remember when the redundancies were coming out, they did it on sort of like a matrix. So say if you were up against another manager, it would go on your PDRs, on your performance, on your absence. And straight away, no joke, the woman who I was up against, and this was one of the markers, was years service. She'd been with the company for 20 years.
Oh my God.
So everything else was the same. Everything. But she picked me. So it was me who was on the shooting line.
Yeah.
I think that someone's got a husband's lover and you're loving your voice. Oh God,
I love it. Honestly, I do. I love it. Do you know what? And this is a really random. This is a little side note. You saying that, but about memories. I used to dance when I was I was going to say when I was little, I am still little, but when I was younger, and a girl that I used to dance with, she literally sounds like you, and I've literally got her, like I can see her in my head when I was like
Really?
10 or something. It's really funny, isn't it? Like with
Oh my
accent.
gosh, yeah.
I love
How
your
it can
accent.
like bring back
Yeah,
memories.
yeah.
So
But yeah, sorry,
then
so you got made redundant.
I got made redundant. Well, I took the redundancy. They did offer me another job, but honestly, Laura, it was like 40 mile away. It was South Shields, and I don't know if you know the Northeast at all, but it's one hell of a journey from where
Yeah.
Hartlepool is to South Shields. And I remember sitting down with Michael, and I was like, and I didn't like the store manager either. He was dead scary in South Shields. He wasn't very nice. And normally I got on really well with all the store managers, but he petrified me.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to Michael, I think I'm going to take my redundancy. And I remember saying to him, I promise I will apply for every single job. Like I've got we worked out, we had like a 3-month window
Yeah.
where I could literally like apply. So I took it. It was honestly one of the scariest things ever because there was nothing to sort of move on to.
But I think if you are somebody that's got that work ethic in you, and
Oh
you,
yeah,
like you said, you had that drive, you were like, right, I'm going to go do it.
yeah,
there was no way that you weren't going to get something else.
definitely, definitely. So I applied for a job as a manager with Sainsbury's, and I remember we went away on a 2-week holiday, and I'd gone for the interview, and I remember saying to them, I'm going on holiday. Like, well, don't fuck, because back in the day, like your signal and stuff, you didn't
I
dare
know.
turn your phone on in a foreign country. You had to go like to the pay phone and ring
Yeah.
home. God, I sound so old now. So I remember logging on to my emails. I think I was possessive. I was like, Michael, I haven't had anything. I haven't got anywhere. I got the job. So then I was a manager with Sainsbury's for 2 years. And honestly, one of the fantastic company to work for. They were the best people. I made friendships that just last forever. They were phenomenal. And then total flip reverse. Me and Michael were like passing ships, retail hours. I was working weekends. I was working late nights. I was literally looking after a store the size of, I think it was 80,000 square feet. Now was that literally, if there was a shoplifter, it was me. If there was a fire alarm, it was me.
Yeah.
And I needed a change. And I applied for a job at a university, and it was senior catering supervisor. I was remembered by SCS. I know that's silly.
The surface.
And yeah. And I got the job, and it was a Monday, Friday. It was brilliant. It literally just improved the quality of life and
Yeah.
everything. But
Yeah.
then guess what happened in that job? I got made bloody redundant.
Oh no.
So I ended up when I'd fell pregnant with Oliver, and I was so determined because I've always been really career driven. Like I had a goal of when I was in retail, I wanted my own store. I wanted to be a store manager. When I was in the university, I always wanted to progress. And then when we had Oliver, it was probably it was the most amazing time, but it was one of the most horrific and scariest times. I don't know if you, I don't know if I spoke about this before, but when I think I was around 6, 7 months pregnant, I started getting really bad pain in my right knee.
Mm.
So I was back and forward to the doctors, and obviously you have to be really careful what you take when you're pregnant anyway. Paracetamol wasn't touching it. I'd gone to physio. Honestly, Laura, the pain was just on a different level. And by the time I was going to have Oliver, I lost total use of my right leg. I couldn't bend it. It was honestly, I was in a state. My leg literally had to be fully straight. It just would not. I couldn't bend it, couldn't walk on it. So I had Oliver. When I had Oliver, I had to have an epidural because obviously for them to bend my leg, otherwise it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
When I had Oliver, he ended up being really poorly. When they thought it was suspected sepsis, meningitis. He was in an incubator for 3 days.
Oh, wow.
So the time when Oliver was admitted to hospital, I was admitted to hospital, and they found a 2 centimetre growth in my knee joint, and
Wow.
they didn't know what it was. And I honestly, do you know when there's something that just sticks with you for the rest of your life? Like,
Yeah.
you know, when you have a baby, it's meant to be like rainbows and unicorns and everyone's happy and no one tells you about the scary side. And
No.
obviously, because you don't plan for that to happen, obviously, but I remember them doing this ultrasound and me being the way I am, I make a joke and especially in an awkward situation, I think it just comes out.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to the guy, he said, oh, we can see like a growth. And at this time, Oliver wasn't even 2 weeks old, I don't think. And I said to him, it's not cancer, is it? And he literally looked at me and he said, at this stage, we can't rule anything out. And honestly, I just broke down, totally broke down. I thought I was going to die. So they took me back up to the ward. They had to put me in a side room because my hormones and everything were all over anyway. I was on it. When I say I was a mess, I'd have probably got a part in EastEnders because I was like literally. And then it just went from Oliver, thankfully, we spent a week in hospital. He was home, but I couldn't be by myself with him because of my leg. I lived the first 9 weeks. I couldn't be by myself with my baby. I couldn't get up and do the feeds on a night. Anyway, they sent me to the Freeman's Hospital, which is in Newcastle. And when we got there, of all of the entrances we could have took, we ended up at the Bobby Robson cancer unit. And I just remember walking through and I was like, we've got this baby and I'm going to die, Michael. And honestly, I don't know how he put up with me. But anyway, they operated, they managed, it was benign. There was nothing nasty in the joint at all. And I remember, I'm going to go emotional and I thought I wouldn't. I think it's like women's things, it must be, because I can normally talk about this. I always remember the first time I was ever like by myself with him and my little nana was there. And I said, I'm going to take him around the block. And honestly, I put him in his pram. Stupid, I know. And I remember walking around the block and I was like, looking at him and I was saying, I'm so sorry that I've been shit, basically. And I was like, I'm trying me bam, and I limped all the way around the block, but you know what? We did it. And I remember ringing Michael and I was like, I've took him out for the first time. And yeah, honestly, I'm so sorry I get upset. It was.
Don't apologise. Like that, that is part of you and like part of your story, isn't it? And like, what a special.
And you know, like now, like honestly, he's just like my best mate. Like honestly, he's just. And I think I know everybody's journey is different as a parent, but honestly, going through that, I think looking back, it just makes you such a stronger person.
Yeah.
I think that's why I never went on to have any more, because I think it scared me that much.
But you know what? They say, don't they, like everything you go through literally makes you stronger. You come out like a different version of yourself, don't you? And
totally.
like and probably at the time, even without realizing it, not obviously you do realize it, but like he would have been your driving force inside going, no, I'm gonna, whatever the outcome would have been, do you know what I mean? You would have been, how special that, like. And also talk about perspective, like so many people would have just taken for granted taking their baby for a walk around the block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to be able to do that, like that's absolutely amazing. And don't apologise for getting upset. Like,
I know. Normally I can talk about what is wrong with me. My God.
It's all right.
Sorry, everyone.
We're the same age. It's hormones.
I know, honestly, Laura, it really is.
Oh, right. Oh. Okay, so you've had your baby. You'd been so at this point, were you employed by no, you'd been made redundant from them.
I left Sainsbury's to go to the university, and then again I was with them about 8 years. I was with them for 8 years, but when I went back after having Oliver, my whole outlook changed. I don't know if it was because of what I went through, what Oliver went through. And I said to Michael, the role had slightly changed as well. I was an event supervisor when I went back. And you can imagine at a university, we dealt with like the top brass. We dealt with visitors. We dealt with the local community and graduations. And I remember saying to Michael, look, if I stay full time in this role, I'm going to miss out on so much. Yeah. And literally the first day back, I made the decision to step down. I just wanted to be a normal person going into work, doing me hours, finishing, going home and not having to worry about budgets and getting things done to deadlines. I just wanted to serve tea and coffee on the coffee shops and go home. So I did. I done 3 days a week, and I did it for probably about a year and a bit before COVID hit. And then through COVID, the university restructured the whole catering unit. Everything changed. They didn't want part-time workers. They wanted full-time. So again, I was made redundant. So that was we were all furloughed from obviously the March. So March of 2020, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So I had 8 months before the opportunity of Scentsy came up.
So you had 8
And yeah.
months and you've been made redundant. So you were at home in COVID. And were you a customer? Were you buying Scentsy, or had you never tried
Nah.
Scentsy before?
Nope. I'd never tried Scentsy, never. So my sponsor was Kat Jones. Do you remember Kat? Name ring a bell? Kat was Ashley Johnson's recruit.
Right. Okay.
And then
Yeah.
I joined under Kat.
Yeah.
So I remember, we were all in lockdown. My husband worked all the way through from home in his office. And there was just me and Oliver. I was like, my God, like, this is hard. Like, love him to bits, but by God, like, how
I know.
we get
I
it.
adore my kids, but I always remember, especially when Dan obviously, like, I'd say retired, but like left his job, and like people say, oh, like you could homeschool and like travel. No thanks.
No.
They're in school.
No, too right. So I remember Kat knew about me being made redundant, and I think I bought one mystery bag. And when I come in the post, obviously Kat was Essex, I'm Hartlepool. We've never met. We just got talking on social media.
Yeah.
And this mystery bag turned up. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this is really nice. Like, and do you know what wax it was? And if I was to pick that wax now, I probably wouldn't like it, but I still love it. It was Halloween Town.
Oh, really?
Honest to God, that was the
quite
wax.
a unique
smell,
isn't it? It's quite a not like
it's
a
not,
clothesline or a Welsh traveller or like
Nah, it's honestly like, and I put it on and I thought, my God, like that's unbelievable. But I didn't even have a warmer to put it in. Like it was on a tea light burner. I know, don't that word burner. So I know, a couple of weeks had passed and Kat messaged me and she had a host kit. And she said, look, no pressure at all. I know you've been made redundant because we'd had talks and everything. She said, I've got a host kit available and if you want it, it's yours. So, honestly, it still makes me laugh this. So I was like, oh, I don't know, Kat, like everything going on in the world, I don't know if I can be doing with like extra stress, like honestly, anxiety was really bad at the time as well. Obviously being at home, everything changing. And I said, go on then, I'll give it a go. And I'm not joking, 20 minutes after saying yes, I messaged her back and said, no, I can't. I don't want to totally retract what I'm saying. I can't do it. Yeah. And do you know what? This is why I think I love Scentsy as I do, because you know what Kat said to me? No problem. Yeah. She didn't add pressure. She didn't say, you know, you've messed me about. I've used this host kit on. She literally said to me, honestly, Sarah, it's no problem. The host kit's yours no matter what. Let it arrive, see what you think, and just leave it as there. You know where I am if you need me. Yeah. So I was like, at least that's done. Yeah. Then the kit arrived and I was smelling everything and I was like, oh, nice. And then the next day, because back in 2020, do you remember how like there was a shortage of mini warmers? There was it was just crazy.
There was nothing. I literally remember at one point like counting and we had something like 3 warmers we could say. Honestly, and I think that's why like if people have joined after COVID, they were obviously. But I remember like you said, like so obviously I was already a consultant when we went into lockdown, and you know the team were panicking and worrying and going like, what are we going to do? And I think you remember talking to Lisa on the phone going, right, okay, well, we can't party anymore, so let's just do a training on mindset and go, it'll be all right. But obviously, but it was all right, you know, like
Yeah,
stuff was going out of stock, but it's because the business was going
yeah,
mental, wasn't it? It was
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
crazy.
So I remember commenting, I was like, "Hi, Kat, can I order one of those?" And honestly, me inbox ping, no. If you want one, honestly, if you want one, you order one. And then the rest's history. I thought, right, I'm just going to give it a go. But yeah, she literally said no. You're not having one, you can
You're not
order your
ordering it.
own. So yeah, then it just all started from there, and what a whirlwind it's been.
So from that, you know, like ordering during lockdown was, yeah, crazy times,
Yeah,
crazy times, but amazing times in so many ways as well. But so from you know, when she said, right, okay, we're gonna, obviously we were in COVID, so was this just you, like, obviously, you know, sharing on your social media? Did you like
yeah.
so for people listening to this, like, how did you turn that I'm gonna order a mini warmer into I'm gonna start to build a business?
Do you know, I still shock myself with it when I think about it, because it's just all been a complete whirlwind. Like, I remember setting the Facebook group up. I remember inviting friends, inviting family. Borrow box. The borrow box was, I still to this day say that was the start of my business, because I still have my diary, and it was literally booked out for 6, 7 months.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I've had anti-bac wipes in there, because obviously it was the height of, I remember cleaning everything down. If you were like saying to people, everything's been anti-bac, like, don't worry. And it honestly just grew, like, and it was all on social media, because I couldn't do anything face to face at first when I started. Um, and yeah, just opening up as many networks as I could. And, even people, inviting people to my group, helping grow that way. And people
Yeah.
from school, people from college, like, the amount of friendship that I have started again because of Scentsy is
Yeah.
unbelievable. Literally, Laura, it's no, we will go anywhere and I'll know somebody.
Yeah.
And people are like, how do you know them? Honest, everywhere it happens, I know. We were at an away football match in Middlesbrough the other week, and it was this random. I mean, if you're from the northeast, I won't say in case there is people, but it's an area where people say it's a bit rough. But
Yeah.
I worked there for years, and but I knew one of the dads, and Michael was like, "How?
How do you
How?
know?
How?" I was like, "I just do through my retail days." But yeah, it was literally all on social media where I built my foundation.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I think, you know, like you said, that is the beauty of Scentsy. So if anyone's like listening to this back, you know, there is no pressure. Like you know, our core values is simplicity.
Yeah,
And this business is like super simple. There's no pressure. You had your kit, we'll leave it with you, we'll see what you think. And actually, no, you want to order your own warmer and then just go from there. And
yeah,
look how it did explode. So that is how you got started. Obviously, you
yeah,
know, we're now a few years on, you're a director. I'm sure, you know, you like you said, your journey's been a bit of a whirlwind. What has been like on like a professional level, I guess, like
yeah.
what's been like one of your biggest like wow moments where you've literally like I know I could think of a couple, but what's been your moment where you've literally like it could be when you're listening to a training or when you're on a call with somebody or when you're talking to a customer and you're literally like, wow, like this is what I get to do for a living.
SFR was my very. I'd never done an in-person event, right? And honestly, the amount of people like
In
Ashley
London,
who would, no, Manchester,
Manchester, yeah.
the amount of people who would say, Sarah, you can't beat an in-person event. And honestly, I'll hold my hands up for anybody who's watching who's never been to one, and you feel like I felt. I used to sit and think, huh? Why is it so special? I don't get you. I
Well,
don't
so
get it.
last year's was your first in-person event.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, amazing.
Yeah, honestly, everything else was virtual. Like, I'd
Mm,
never ever experienced anything like it. And yeah, it was just absolutely blew me away on it. It really did. But I did. I thought I just had this image in my head of like back in the Asda days, right? We were part of Walmart, so the American side was very like,
Yeah.
hey, like,
Yeah.
and I used to think, are we all just in a room, like all happy clappy? I did that. That's how I thought. But honestly, if there's any, and I say this to my team, if there's any bit of advice that I can give, is an in-person Scentsy event will just change everything of how you feel. And I remember, so when I was there with a few of my team members, and I remember Ashley Johnson and Tam were sat in front of me, and Gemma Glover was over the other side. I remember at one point, something must have happened, and I must have been sat with my mouth like. And I remember, Ashley turned round and looked at me, and she said, "Told you." I
Yeah.
was like, "What the actual hell?" I think it was like when all the give up. It was just
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
And listening to people, listening to real life people get on that stage and
Yeah.
talk and think to yourself, do you know what? Anything's capable. Like it really, really is. I
Yeah.
mean, we live, and I say this to my team, we live in such a small town. You Google Hartlepool, and it is a small town in the northeast. And the cost of living is hitting everywhere, but especially in the northeast. But me and my team still continue to be strong. I live on a housing estate with 110 houses, and I've got 4 Scentsy consultants on my housing estate. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I say this to my team, we might not be the biggest, but we are so powerful. And especially because of where we are, it's just crazy, isn't
Oh
it?
my
It's
God,
mad.
you've literally given me goosebumps when you said that, because honestly, that passion and that to come from you, and it is so true. When people say like, "Oh, the market's saturated," okay, very much like you just said. Before I moved and we've come back and stuff, like where I used to live, we were house number 5 on that development. There was a woman around the back who joined under Caroline Bennett, who was that mummy's a mum at Finley School now. And then around the back of the estate, there were 2 other Scentsy consultants. And it wouldn't have bothered me if every single person in my street had been a Scentsy consultant, because there are literally billions and billions and billions of
Yeah,
people in this world. And exactly like you just said, when you just said, and we're really strong, I was like, that is so true, because it doesn't matter. Everyone's got different networks, everyone knows different people.
yeah.
And for you to have that mindset and instill that mindset into your team as well, like that's just absolutely amazing. And you are living proof of that.
Honestly, like, I mean, the schoolyard, our kids all go to the same school, and I think there's probably 4 of us there as well. And it's this when, like, I'm a big believer, and I don't want to jump the gun in case you do ask me, but I
Don't
always
worry,
think
it's
of
fine.
my Scentsy business is like my family say to me, right? And I imagine you being like this, Laura, because honestly, like me and Sophie Armstrong, right, always joke on, and I'm going to tell you, she'll be sat there going, Sarah, what you saying? What you saying?
What are you gonna say?
Me and Sophie always say we're like the Lisa and Laura. Honestly, we do, right? We always say, come on, we are going to be like these two. Oh, because we look up to you. Like, you don't realize
Oh,
how you and the other superstar directors impact us. Honestly, you really don't. You motivate us, you keep us going. And totally lost my train of thought there, because Sophie will be saying, why are you saying that, Sarah? She will, honestly. Like my Scentsy business, you cut me in half and it'll say Scentsy. Like,
bleep purple.
me,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And to me, it's just like an extension of me. So when I talk about it, I'm not trying to force things down people's throats. It's just a natural
yeah.
conversation about something that I'm so passionate about. And I think that shows. And I think when you're honest and you're genuine, it does just flow.
Absolutely. Like honestly, when you were talking a minute ago, I feel like I'd like lost my train of thought a bit, because I was so like engrossed in listening to you, and it did just give me goosebumps, because when it is natural and you love it that much, it's more than a business. It's more than just something you sell. It's more
Yeah,
than something.
yeah,
And exactly like you just said, going to an event and going to and being in that room and surround. I always remember Joe Davison saying to me, because when I my first like real in-person event was Amsterdam, and which I'd earned as an incentive, and I took my baby along, who was only 4 months old at the time, and I remember thinking, what? Like, I'm going to a conference and they're letting me take my baby. Like, what's going on? Like, who does that? And like the first people we see when we come out, the thing was I was hiding Orville, and Orville was like, "Can I hold him?" I went, "Yeah, if you want." Like,
Oh
but
my
what I mean is,
gosh.
like, I remember Joe saying it's like sticking your finger in the Scentsy socket, and I was like, that is like the perfect, you know,
Yeah,
description, and it is so true, and it literally oozes out of you, and it honestly, it's just, I just love it, because I just think that is what is going to take you far,
yeah,
because every consultant has got the same hit, you know, give or take, they've got the same workstation, same resources,
everything.
but what is going to differentiate you to every other consultant is you and your passion and your excitement, and it honestly, it literally just pours out of you. So that's honestly,
It just changed, honestly. SFR, I made a promise to myself that I was going to get director back. I was going to hit 2,000 PRV. If I have to put the income disclosure, I do apologise.
yeah, that's all
I was
right.
going to hit 2,000 PRV every month. That was my aim, and came back with so much focus. And even my team seen it, a total shift in the way that I was talking, the way that I was communicating. I had my passion back, and
Yeah.
you need it like that. If you feel, and don't get me wrong, Laura, I'm not saying that every single day that I'm like, come on, I'm not saying that.
Nobody is. No.
I get days where I think, well, because I do work as well. I have a part-time job,
Mm.
and some days I think I'm gonna make myself coming back round here. And you do get days, but we're all human, and you've got to get comfortable with having days like that, because tomorrow won't be the same.
So what do you do at the moment as well, with what is your part-time job now?
So, because honestly, like Scentsy so entwined in my life, I did Scentsy full time as a business for probably 6 to 7 months,
Mm.
and it is a big thing when you're used to a salary coming in, you get holiday pay. If you're poorly and you're off, you get sick pay. And I remember saying to Michael, look, I'm going to look for a part-time job. I'm still going to do Scentsy aside, obviously still registered as a business and everything.
Yeah.
I said, but I'm going to get a part-time job just for extra security. So he was like, right, okay. So honestly, I would happen. So one of my customers who I did not know before I started Scentsy, so strange how it happened. She bought a Mother's Day box. Well, a friend bought one for her. I hadn't even communicated with her. She just bought one because a friend Angela wanted one for her mum, Val, who are now like two of my very best customers. On Mother's Day, I got this random message off Angela. Hiya Sarah, hope I've got the right Sarah. My mum's put her mini warmer in and the bulb isn't working. And I was like, oh my God, it's Mother's Day, like it's a
Oh,
present. And I remember thinking, oh God, I was racking my brain. I was like, right, Gemma told me she lives I was just thinking Picktree. So I Googled it, found out where it was in Hartlepool,
oh my God, I love
honestly,
that.
on Mother's Day. But this is retail days, I'm certain, because
Yeah.
customer service, right,
Yeah.
goes a long way. And I don't know what made me think, and I've seen the personalised reg on the car, and I thought that must be the house. So I knocked at the
You
door,
rocked
and
up
this
with the
woman
bulb.
answered. I went, "Are you Angela?" She went, "Yeah." I went, "It's Sarah." I said, "I've brought you a bulb for your mini
Oh
warmer."
my God.
And honestly, I did not know what she did for a living. Turns out she's an operations manager for a company called NEC. And NEC work on councils all throughout the country. And that's who I work for now.
I love that.
So honestly, so now I'm a part-time benefits assessor, and totally different to anything that I've ever done in my life. They've trained me up from scratch, and yeah, I love it. And they all know that I'm a Scentsy consultant. About 3 of them are on my team now.
Yeah. That's what I
They
was
all
just going to
buy
say.
from me.
There's seasons in your life, seasons in your business, and actually, that's only going to benefit your sense of business, because you're talking to people and you're connecting with people, and like you just said, I was going to say, I bet you end up sponsoring some of them, but you've already sponsored some of
And do you
them.
know what, Laura? I work from home. I'm not even office based.
Oh,
So
I love that.
honestly, like, they understand, like, I did have to say to them when I first started, if you see posts going up in my group, don't think I'm doing that in work time. I schedule.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
thought, because people don't realise, you know, if you
No.
don't do network marketing or you have a Facebook group, and yeah, they just totally love the fact that I do this alongside. They're so supportive, they really are.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so we talked about SFR. Are there any, so like, as in like what you could recommend for somebody, are there any like standout, whether it's, you know, a training that you've watched on stage, like at an event, maybe like a keynote speech, or any YouTube trainings, or are there any trainings that like stand out in your mind that were like really pivotal in your business, which you watched that and you were like, you had like a real like wow moment, something that you could recommend somebody went to YouTube to find?
I'm going to be totally honest, none that I can honestly, right? This is where I need to get better
That's
because
all
I'm
right.
going to be totally honest. This is another promise I've made to myself, and I am getting better because I've got the 8-minute diary or the 7-minute. I can't remember what it is. That just shows you. I really find it difficult to find time to work on things like that.
Okay.
And like Ashley, who's obviously my sponsor now, is absolutely on the ball with
Yeah.
things. And she recommends so much stuff to me. And yeah, I need to work on that myself. So I am not the right person to ask
No,
for
no,
the
no,
support.
that's okay. Because, you know, that is clearly you've had success without, you know, watching loads of personal development and
Not
training.
saying I don't need it because I really do. Like, there's always something that you can develop your skills in,
Oh,
like
absolutely.
constantly.
But what I mean is, whether it's Scentsy training, whether it's mindset training, there is like a total, you know, wealth of things out there.
Oh God, yeah.
I always remember mine was the Jennifer Anderson one. She was sitting in her car and it was the how to get $10,000 paycheck with Scentsy. And I remember it was like years ago and watching it in the kitchen and literally like shouting at Dan going, you should have been born in America. Because I was literally like, yes. So what I mean is there's loads of stuff on YouTube. Like there's loads of
Oh yeah, like obviously.
there's
Sorry,
loads.
I thought you were meaning like books and podcasts. There's
Oh no, sorry,
videos that I watch
like
from people.
a Scentsy
Yeah,
training or something
totally. Yeah,
like that.
there's
So
people who I watch. Chloe Cox,
yeah.
absolutely phenomenal. Wendy. Oh my
You guess.
God, I love her.
You guess. She's
Love
amazing
her.
too.
I love her. Love her stories. Just everything. A little granddaughter. But yeah, like these people, they just share so much down there, and they do. There's things that you watch. I remember once, and I don't know who it was. I'm not really, honestly, I'm not driven by money, right? But I remember, I don't know if it was Lisa and Tam who done. It was like superstar directors and about earnings and things. And can you remember that? Or am I making it up? There was something, wasn't there, where there was
Yeah.
to
There's
give different examples, and
different examples of different levels and like what.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think at that stage, because being an essential, a certified, a star, a superstar, we are very different in that aspect to other network marketing companies. Me and one of my teamies the other day was saying we are getting absolutely bombarded in this town by other perfume companies,
Yeah.
and they share so much about how much they make, this, that, other. And I think sometimes, not all the time, and I know it has to be done tactfully, but when you are starting out in Scentsy or you are at your star level, your superstar, when you can see what the possibilities are,
Yeah.
and it's not done in a way of, oh, look where I am, that can also change people because that is what you can achieve. And
Yeah.
like you said earlier, Laura, we all have the same workstation, the same news tab. We have the Facebook groups. It's all there, isn't it, in our hands? It's just how we mold it.
How you mold it. And I think you're right. And I know you just said, oh, I'm not driven by money, and that's totally okay. And there's no, but at the same time, you know, we all have a life to
Bills to
pay for,
pay, yeah,
things to pay for,
yeah,
you know,
we
and
do.
it's actually, and I
And
think like,
kids.
we're not a company that puts our paychecks on, you know, and everybody markets their businesses differently and stuff.
Yeah,
That's fine. But I do agree with you. I do think it's important for people to share what is possible,
yeah,
and Because otherwise, how do you know? Like, how do you know
Yeah,
what is real and what is,
yeah.
but yeah, no, so that like you said, there are, I'm not sure, I think it was Lisa Tam, and I think it was Jennifer Anderson and Chloe Cox. They touched on that when they did
Maybe, yeah,
that.
yeah.
That. So no, exactly. There is a lot out there. So, okay, what would be your biggest tip, whether this is in-person networking or online networking? What would be the biggest tip that you would give to somebody when it comes to networking? Because what I feel like, everyone comes into this business and everyone's really good at like the marketing part, like putting pictures online, but fall down maybe a little bit on the networking side. So what would be your like biggest networking tip?
The biggest networking tip that I would give is don't always make things about Scentsy, because people buy into you.
Yeah.
And for example, if I know one of my customers has been poorly or their husband's been poorly, and if this isn't done in a salesy way, genuinely check up on them, network with people, because of friendships, because of relationships, because that's what we're all about, isn't it? It's being an individual and in building those relationships and friendships. Like, how many of your customers and people who are watching do you know about their daughters, their sons, their grandkids, their
Yeah.
sisters, your hairdresser's mum? Like, you know them, and you know a little message of somebody of checking in, even if you're just is you're sitting down, what, having your tea or a cuppa. I'm going to check out Josie's daughter is. Just be natural and build them friendships, because the networking side, the sales and everything will follow, because people trust you. They build up the respect, the loyalty. That I'm a massive believer in that. Like,
Yeah.
I really am. It's the caring side. Scentsy not just about the sales. And I know that's silly, because we're a company and we do sell a product, but 9 times out of 10, I know, like, don't know about your customers, but your customers get really like thingy over you, don't they? Like,
Oh,
if you put,
absolutely.
they're like, we love Sarah, like, or Sophie's customers or Lisa's, they get really sort of like protective over you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's just built on trust and respect, and
I
definitely
love
with
that. You've got
networking.
to make it real, haven't you? Because otherwise, if you just go and do you want some wax?
Yeah, and they're not in that is just not you're not going to get anywhere.
No, amazing. Okay, thank you, my love. Okay, so when you joined, okay, so when you were at home, you bought a mystery box, you thought, oh, what was your why? Like, what was the reason that all of a sudden you thought, actually, do you know what? I will give that a go. What was your why when you joined Scentsy?
I needed something for me. I was always used to working, and then I wasn't, and then I was at home every day with, he was then a 2.5, 3 year old, and my anxiety was 100% lingering in the background,
Mm.
and I knew that I needed something, and that was a massive, massive player. It's sort of, when people say, going back to like when you're watching lives, when Scentsy comes into your life at such the right time. And I know that might sound so cliche, but
Mm.
it did. It did. And I remember, oh, look, it's coming back to me now. Vicky Nifton. I remember watching a live of Vicky Nifton, and she basically told everybody about her life and about her why. And I remember part of it where she said that when you've got that grey cloud, that black cloud over you, Scentsy acts like her shade, and it's like a protector. And that, Laura, that's what I should have said when you
That's your wow
asked me.
moment. Yeah,
That was
yeah.
because of what she'd gone through, and still, I just love her to bits, because she's just unreal. And I remember that, and I thought, you know what? Yeah, it is, because when your mind's going in overdrive, sitting down and doing some wax samples or following up or packing your orders occupies you, like, and it is like a shade that you can, like your little protector, like your comfort blanket. I know it sounds totally silly, doesn't
Oh
it?
my God, like not at all. It does not sound silly one little bit. Like, it literally is. It's that. it's like they said at World Tour this year, didn't it? Like, let your business give you energy, not like take your energy. Like, is
Oh, I think somebody's not on.
oh, hang on a minute. I don't know if I can mute everybody. Hang on.
Margaret, I think. Oh, there,
Yeah.
she's muted. Bless her.
But yeah, absolutely. Like, it is, Scentsy is something that you can lean into when you've got things
Yeah.
going on, and you know it is. So I love that. So that was your why when you joined, like for something for you. Like, what is your why now? Like, what is your what? Because you know, like you just said, not everybody, and like just nobody. I don't care who you are. Not every single person in the world has days where they feel a bit crappy, and then everyone's human. What makes you get up every day now and work your sense business? Like, what is your why now?
It changes. I know that sounds silly, but it
Uh,
changes. Like
yeah,
it does. Like it's never one thing. Like I remember, right? Obviously, the start was because of how I felt. Then I remember seeing Scentsy incentives, and I thought,
oh god.
oh my God.
Yeah, doing the training. What's wrong, babe? What's wrong? You can show me, you can show everyone else as well if you want.
Show us.
Artwork.
Oh, let's have a look.
Have a look.
That's really not good.
What is it?
That's it. Exactly.
It's very good. I can see it's
Oh my
building and
God,
stuff
that
to
is
fit
so
through.
good. I wish I could draw.
Well done, Harry. Close the door, darling. Sorry.
I'm rubbish at drawing.
I feel terrible. I shouldn't have said what is it. I meant like it was really good, but what is it? The building of some description. Give me a heart attack. Sorry about that. I just didn't want to send him out while he'd like come to show me his work.
Bless him.
Right, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So back in the room. Yeah, so your why now changes.
Yeah, it changes. So I remember Scentsy incentives, right? I remember seeing people earning them, and I was like, that's impossible. Like that is totally impossible. So me thought, oh, I think I can hear my little one crying now, which he should be in bed, but he's not. And I remember my focus changing then, because my why was I wanted to earn a Scentsy incentive trip because I wanted a holiday. And I remember the Norwegian cruise. I earned the cruise, and it just blew me away. But I didn't end up going, and I regretted it. And then it just changes. Me why changes all the time, but it probably still is a lot based on my anxiety, because I was saying, I had a chat with Tam the other day, and I'm very much open about this. Back when I had Oliver and I went through everything with my knee, about a year later down the line, I nearly had like the biggest breakdown. Like, and people say to me all the time, "He would never expect you to be like that, Sarah, because you're always so jolly and you're always so happy." And it was horrendous.
Yeah.
And I was put on sertraline back in 2018, and I only recently come off them this year, and I still say to this day, Scentsy, I think that is the drive. My biggest why is my own mental health.
Yeah.
To be honest, it is. It is. I know it is. It's not money. Not driven by money. It's definitely my mental health. It helps me
To keep you focused and on the straight and narrow, and that's absolutely amazing, because I think there is, I don't want to say there's a stigma, but everyone, if you are that person that that happy, bubbly, everyone thinks like, oh, you're all right all the time, but actually sometimes it's those people. I'm not saying you put on an act, I don't mean that, but like sometimes
they're the ones who suffer the most.
They're the ones who suffer the most, because actually they're so used to being that person. Actually, if you feel a different way and you struggle, so for Scentsy to be that way, be that place for you to go to and get through that, that's amazing, and that's really special, and really important that you share that, because a lot of people will relate to that.
Definitely. Like, I think back in the day, like I remember when I got put on the medication, they'd put me on sertraline, they'd put me on propranolol, like a beta blocker, because of me palpitations. I remember my mum saying, "What the bloody hell you're on them for?" And do everyone's, I think, mental health the past few years has completely done a 360, because people have a lot more of an understanding now, along with my mum, because my mum was at that age where didn't exist when she was my age. Like there was nothing like that, where now she completely understands because she's seen where I was at and the help that I needed to get where I needed to be. And yeah, even Michael says to me, like, Scentsy, even, do you know, the two of my teamies, right? And I don't know if it's because of where I was when I first started, how I was feeling and the way that I was. There's two of my team, and two of them, honestly, Laura, when you get a teammate and message you and they thank you for offering them the opportunity, and their family members are saying that they can see the old person in them again, that feeling's just unbelievable. And I think you get to a stage, I was saying this to Tam, where when you're building a team, like when you first started, I did it for me, I was, you know, it was my business, but now seeing my team, there's just no better. And people might think she's full of it air, but honest to God, when you see your team progress and grow, become more confident, doing a live, putting their face on a photo, like the feeling that you get is unbelievable. It really is. And
it really is, isn't it? And it is literally, that's why when we say like this opportunity is a gift, it's not always about money. It's about, like you say, it's about building people's confidence or doing something for them. And you're absolutely right. Like when it becomes not about you anymore, doesn't it?
No.
Like your team is doing well or earning an incentive or doing a live or what, you know, whatever it may be. Like that is really, really special, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. For them to say like their family, they're laughing again and they've not seen them this way since a year ago, and they feel like they're getting their old self back, or they've been given a purpose. Like, I've got a teammate who has two children, and one of her children needs extra support. The school are terrible, to be quite honest. She goes to the same school as my Oliver, and my teammate didn't work because she suffers really bad with her back. She's got her little boy that she has to think about with his extra needs and support. And she was suffering so bad. And I remember I picked her up one day because it was raining, and I sat in the car with her and I said, I've got an opportunity there. Take it. Do what you want with it. If you don't do nothing, then that's absolutely fine. And honestly, like, she still says, like, I'm just over the moon for what I've got, because I don't think some people, you know, Scentsy is all about family. It's all about inclusion. It doesn't matter if you have a disability. It doesn't matter if you've got dyslexia. It doesn't matter if you've got a family, if you haven't got a family. It's for everybody. And I mean, I could harp on till the cows come home about Scentsy. Honestly, I could talk about it all day.
I love it though. Honestly, I could literally listen to you all day. I love it. It's amazing. It's extremely inspiring. And that's obviously why you've had the success that you have, because it is natural and you do just love it. And that is what people are gonna relate to. So that is amazing. Okay, so last couple of questions, because I don't want to keep you too long. Well, I'd love to talk to you all night, but I'm sure you need to go. What has been one of your proudest moments? Like, you've talked about your team. Obviously, you love on your team and you pour into your team. But personally, what has been one of your proudest moments in throughout your Scentsy journey?
Oh God, there's just so many, isn't there? Honestly, like there's just loads. Director, hitting director was something I never thought that I'd do ever in a million years. Because I still like look at other people. Like, honestly, Laura, doing this tonight, I had a conversation with my husband. I was like, but Michael, like I'm just me. Like I'm in my jammers, and Laura, you knew I was going to be in my jammers because I'd said to you, but I did brush my hair. I said, Laura, I promise I'll brush my hair, because this is just me. And I thought to myself, we're doing Diary of a Scentsy Consultant. Just be me. Like, this is me. This is Scentsy. My Facebook group full of customers know that when I do a live, I'm in my jammers on a night. And you just be you. But one of my proudest moments would definitely be director. and earning Scentsy incentive trips, like unreal.
So you've earned Norway
Norway and Hawaii.
and Hawaii. And are you going to Hawaii or Orlando?
That's a different conversation at the moment, Laura.
Okay. All right. We'll leave that one there.
We'll leave that one for now.
We'll leave that one for now. And I might see you in Orlando because I'm taking Orlando. But yeah, that's amazing because the trips are, you know, are something else, aren't they? Like, you know, I mean, you obviously I don't know your reasons for not going to Norway, but you know, but the fact that you have still been driven to earn one, even though you've not even experienced one yet. Do you know what I mean? Because actually, that's testament to your work ethic. Because actually, when you earn these incentives, they're amazing. Don't get me wrong, they're absolutely outstanding out there. But where your business will be when you've earned an incentive, like Scentsy are not silly. They put these criteria in place for a reason. And, you know, the business growth that you will have had to have earned the incentive is it's phenomenal. So like absolutely that should be a proudest moment because, you know, that is just, it's incredible. They're not easy to earn and they're not supposed to be easy to earn. Like that's the whole point.
They're not. And honestly, one of the biggest things that I would say, like, it plan.
Yeah.
You've got to plan, like, even in Norm, I don't say like so much. I'm really trying to work on not doing that. But every month, and I say this to my team, I always plan. I always think about the reoccurring PRV, how I can make it easier to get numbers on the board, and just planning like what you're going to do throughout that week. We have teamy talks in our group chat. We're like, right, what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
What we're going to. I mean, I wasn't even involved in this conversation. We're like, right, what we're doing this weekend, and I just love that. I just love that they're just so passionate. Honestly, they're just amazing.
Amazing. Well done. That is absolutely something you should be proud of. Okay, so we've kind of like the last couple of questions. We've kind of covered this already, but like aside from income, what has Scentsy done for your life?
God, filled me house full of warmers because I've even had to get extra plug sockets.
Oh, I love that.
It's just honestly I've said it before, the friendships, the reconnections, the conversations that you would have with people that you would probably not talk to. You know, you'd never be lonely being a Scentsy consultant.
Oh my God, yeah.
Never, because you just wouldn't. You know, if it opens so many doors, it really does, and it just takes time, and it takes hard work. It's nobody sitting here saying it's easy, because it's far from easy. But you've got what it takes in your hands. It's just about, like I said earlier, about how you mold it and reaching out to those around you who have been there, and if they can help. Anybody in this business will help. Like, I have never had one person who I've messaged, or even when Georgie organised the month of training, my God, I was so on it. I put myself to it. I've never done anything like that before, and I thought, you know what? That was another big thing. When you see people talk, I sit there and I think, I'd love to do that. I want to make somebody feel how they're making me feel right now.
Yeah.
You know, like Sarah Sawyer, I remember listening to her at World Tour, and I thought, I'd love to make somebody feel how she's making me feel right now.
Well, you're making me feel like that right now.
I know, but you just might be saying that because you're being nice.
I'm not. Like, I'm really, really not, honestly. Like, it's amazing, honestly. And like you said, this business, there's no other probably even in our industry, like people just give back so much for nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? Out of the goodness of their heart, don't they?
Yeah.
It is. It's so special. Okay, so last two. Can you share a funny? We've done inspiring because you've been very, very inspiring. So have you got any funny stories like over your time, whether it's been at a party or something that's happened with a customer, or, you know, have you got a funny story to share with us?
Oh God, I've been thinking about this. I was thinking about while I was in the bath, and I was saying to Michael, "Can you think of anything funny that I've done?"
Well, actually, you've already shared the story of when you actually rocked up on somebody's doorstep and went, "Here's your mini warmer ball." Like, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's one. But I always remember, right? And honestly, anyone who's watching, if you've done this, please make me feel better. When I first started, right, the first order turned up, and it was a canny order of mini warmers. I didn't know that mini warmers had different bases.
Yeah.
And I remember, I know people are there, Eulers have done it. I literally sent out the wrong bases
Yeah.
I had to do a recce. And one of them was a handyman who'd been here to board our loft out. I had to message him and say, "Craig, can I just double check?" And he was like, "I wondered why it was wobbly." God. So yeah, that is the funny story to give
Oh,
out all the different bottoms bases.
it's so easy done though. It's so easy done.
It is.
Okay, so the last question to wrap it up, and then we'll have a look through the questions and the comments and see if there's any. But what is the best piece of advice that you would give to somebody that was starting their Scentsy business today?
Don't feel bombarded with everything you're going to get shown and taught. Break it down into bite-sized chunks and take each day as it comes, because there's a lot to learn, but you learn it over time.
Yeah, perfect. Because actually, there's always things to learn, isn't there? So you're never going to know everything.
Absolutely. And I mean, the onboarding system that I use from Lisa and Tam has been a complete business changer for me.
Yeah.
On boards where you've got the
Yeah.
day one, day two, that is just, it breaks it down amazingly for new people, because we've all been there, and it's a minefield, isn't it?
Yeah.
PRV, GWV, PWS, your
Yeah.
mind's blown. Like, just take it slow, bite-sized chunks when you're brand new. That's the biggest piece of advice. And don't be afraid to ask for help. That's the other thing. Reach out to your team, use your Facebook groups, because the community in there, like you've said, Laura, no one would ever
No.
tell you to go swivel. Like, no one would ever do that.
No.
They really wouldn't. Like, we are there to share. Can I just say one more thing? Dead quick. Just in case, I hope she is watching. So, in our town, like I said, we are a really little town. I knew of another consultant because of people talking, like in the town, "Oh, do you know so-and-so?" And this lady's called Lisa Connolly. So I was shopping I was in M&S. I was
Oh.
having a little treat, looking around. And out the corner of my eye, I thought, "Lisa So I went over and I went, "Excuse me, are you Lisa Connolly?" And she went, "Yeah." I went, "Oh, I'm Sarah Sweeney." She went, "Sarah Sweeney?" So we knew each other's names. And honestly, Laura, like, if Scentsy is anything, this is Scentsy. Me and Lisa are in the same town. We're in totally different teams. We both have totally different lines to the top of the company. And do you know what? A couple of weeks later, we met for a coffee. We shared ideas. We spoke about things. And what other company could you do that? Because you would be in competition with each other.
Absolutely.
And do you know what? Nothing. There was nothing like that at all.
Oh, I love
Unreal.
that. That's absolutely what Scentsy is about, isn't it? There's
Yes.
never, and like you said earlier as well, like you've got 4 people that live on your housing development. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's actually a good thing if you've got consultants around you, because then you can help each other out if you need anything. You can reach out. So yeah, that's really special. I love that. Amazing. Okay, let's have a little look. I'll just have a quick look in see if anyone has got any questions that they want to drop in the chat.
There's a few people. I was thinking, but no one be listening.
No, they are. I want to say thank you after something. Amazing. I'm the same with my money. It stays in my pay pot until my holidays, and the majority goes towards spending money for me and my sister, Scentsy. Oh, I love that, Lauren. I printed an incentive tracker, not for the fact that I'm going to do it, just at the end of the year, I can actually say I've done well and actually so far this year. But amazing. And the thing is, year on year is progress. Absolutely. Amazing. Oh, I love it. You'll be able to just lots of love for what you've said in the comments. Amazing.
Love it.
Okay, guys, has anyone got any questions or anything that you'd like to ask? If
Go on, someone
obviously-
ask something.
yeah, go
Ask
on.
a little question.
Ask a little question, somebody. I am obviously gonna I've loved this. It's been so right word humbling. Do you know what? I think the reason I wanted to do this and I loved doing this program is exactly for that reason. Like, it doesn't matter whether you have been a sense consultant for 20 years or, you know, 2 weeks, like, and exactly what you just said. Everyone's a human being, okay? Every single person in Scentsy is human, okay? And we've all got different backgrounds and different stories and stuff, but I think it's so important for people to hear people's different stories because
Yeah.
you know, anyone can be successful if they want to be. There's no particular type of person. And exactly, very, very humbling. What you said about Wendy Newgas, I remember when I first went on my first incentive trip, and it was Lisa and I and my husband Dan and Lisa's sister, and oh, my computer's making funny noise. And basically there was the 4 of us, that was it from our team. And then we were in Mexico, and Wendy Newgas was in the swimming pool, and you know, like in American films you see like spring break and there's just like loads and she was there, this like, and I was pregnant at the time, and I was quite, well, obviously not too heavily, but I was pregnant, and she was just this like blonde,
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
in the pool with all these like people around her, but was so lovely, and literally came over, and we was just sitting there on our sunbed on our first incentive trip, still quite new in Scentsy, and she came over and she was just like, oh my God, honey, like you look amazing. Like,
Oh,
that's what I mean. Like, she's like a, you know, a Scentsy icon.
yeah.
She literally came over and was lovely and was chatting to us and was asking us all, like, do you know what I mean? And that is literally it. Like, everyone is just a person in Scentsy.
Yeah.
And everyone's there to help and welcome each other. And that's exactly why I wanted to do this, because honestly, you've been so inspiring, and it's lovely to talk to you and get to know you a little bit better, because, you know, there are, and when next time, and this is when we do it, when we go to events and stuff, and everybody that's on this call, if you've never been to an event, make sure you get yourself to a Scentsy event, because there's just,
Definitely.
there is nothing like it. So yeah, honestly, just
Definitely.
thank you so much. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I could literally sit and talk to you all night.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what? It's been lovely, really lovely talking to you. Honestly, when I was coming on and I'd messaged Sophie, and I was like, guess who's in my inbox? She was like, who? I was like, Sarah Sawkins. She's got laughing. Honestly, I'm not joking, you know. We were like,
This is the
you know,
girl.
when you were sitting there fangirling over Wendy, like, honestly, me and Sophie were like, yeah,
Oh
coming,
no! Look, this
coming
is the
for
girl
your
that
jobs.
wears her leggings to the gym inside out, and then realises halfway through her class her label was hanging at the back. So
Oh, honestly, but no, you're just lovely, honestly. Like I said to you earlier, so many people in this business look up to you. You're just inspirational, and you've made me feel totally at ease. So
well, thank you.
you.
But honestly, it's the pleasure's been all mine, and that's definitely why I wanted to do it. So thank you so much, my love. I will share this recording if you're obviously watching this back on recording, I'll share it tomorrow, and we can share it far and wide. And yeah, it's been lovely chatting, and I will look forward to getting to know you better.
I'll talk to you now. A voice
That's it,
note. You've got me. You're in my inbox now. You're not going anywhere.
No. Well, actually, next time we find, because you did message me, didn't I, and said, what are them mooses you're eating from Aldi?
Yeah, they've been a lifesaver.
They're
Them, you
lovely,
know,
aren't they?
they are unbelievable. The
Yeah.
lemon one is my fave.
I should
Michael
say-
likes the strawberry. I think the lemon's beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. See, we love a
All
bit
started
of
over a mousse.
All right. Well, thank you so much for love. Thanks for listening, guys, as well. And yeah, take care, and I will speak to you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Right,
Bye.
bye. Gotta find me thing to. There we go.